just so many different ways to go about selling on Amazon. I don't even know where to start. I've already started selling on Amazon, but am I going about it the right way? Are my strategies correct? I'm not seeing the kind of growth and success that I expected to see when I was starting my business. What am I doing wrong? If you're asking yourself those kinds of questions, then guess what? You're in the right place. Because in this video today, I'm going to be going over the top 10 most efficient and successful strategies to implement in your Amazon business. Whether you're starting out your Amazon business or whether you've already started your Amazon business and you need help getting back on track. Let's get into it. What's up guys, my name is Trevor Cardin. I upload weekly videos teaching brand new entrepreneurs how to sell on Amazon FBA and how to start their Amazon FBA businesses. I even help correct some people's Amazon businesses that they've already started and they need some help getting back on track. Now, if you don't know what Amazon FBA is, I have another video, I'll link it right here for you, that goes over the exact process of what it is and how to start one. We're gonna be talking about the top 10 most essential tips for Amazon FBA, specifically private label. Now I'm gonna break up these tips into two categories. So it's gonna be the first 5, which are gonna be tips for before you selected your product. So when you're still looking for products to sell. And then the last 5 tips are going to be for what to do after you've already chosen your product or if you're already selling your product. Now, if you already have a product that you started selling or that you've chosen, don't skip the first 5 tips. They are still going to be extremely useful and essential, honestly, for you because they will teach you and tell you how to orient your business if you haven't done so correctly already. Let's get started. Let's go over a quick overview of our first 5 product selection tips. Number 1 is branding is key. This is actually a concept that is essential to scaling your business and to seeing growth in your business. So make sure you listen to that one. That is one of the most important tips in this whole video. That's why it's number 1. The second tip is keyword search volume. You want to make sure that you are buying a product and selling a product that people actually search for. So in this video, I teach you guys how to find out exactly how many searches a month a product gets and how to use that information for your benefit. The third tip is USPs. Unique selling propositions. Essentially, I'll tell you guys exactly what this is, but essentially, it's what are you offering that your competition isn't? What are you offering in addition to your product? Number 4 is to account for advertising costs. So this is where I teach you guys how to think 10 moves ahead. I'm gonna tell you guys what to expect when selling a product and you guys can utilize this when looking for different product selection and looking for your products because this is huge information that not a lot of people know. The 5th and final product selection tip, low review competition. This is another very important concept that needs to be utilized when choosing products. I'm gonna tell you guys exactly how to find the top 5 sellers in any niche and then how to properly and accurately gauge the competition with those top 5 sellers. Now let's get into the meat and potatoes of this video. Tip number 1, branding is key. You have 2 different routes you can go when selling private label. You can either buy random products across tens of different categories and sell things randomly, whatever comes, whatever deal comes by, or you can do it the right way, focus on building your brand around a specific niche, a specific market, a specific group of people, and growing that brand and taking advantage of brand loyalty and repeat customers and things like that. Think about building a brand with your product choices. Why is branding important? Well, if you look at branding as the foundation of your business, then you can kind of use the old Bible parable where you had the house that was built on the sand and the house that was built on the rock. And when the winds and storms came, the one who built it on the sand was swept away, but the one that was built on the rock stood firm. You could think of it as the storm that came being, imagine Amazon crashes or Amazon stops letting people sell on their platform, just for example, okay? If something like that were to happen, a business and a brand who focuses on their niche and their market and they build that up and they build a loyal customer base and repeat customers, they have people looking for them. If their main platform, Amazon, goes down, guess what? They can start selling the next day on Walmart, on Shopify, on whatever other platform they need to sell on. And that's because their foundation was strong and sturdy. If you look at somebody who sold random products that aren't related at all, and all of their customers were different every single time, then guess what? When the platform fails, when the storm comes, they're swept away and their business is non-existent. You can also use this parable to signify whether or not you can build upon your foundation. So if you have a very weak foundation, it's not something you can keep building upon. It will crash. But if you have a very strong foundation, you can keep building layer by layer, room by room, until you have a skyscraper of a business. That's what we want to do with our Amazon business, is have a strong foundation that can be built upon layer by layer. And when you do that, you can actually even move to across niches and do different niches, similar niches to what you started with, but you can move to different niches and your customer base will follow you because you've had such a strong foundation. And that is what I want to teach you guys and what I want you guys to do when you pick your product and when you look at picking your product. So I hope you can see how important branding is. A couple other things to consider when talking about building a brand is the loyal customer. The loyal customers that I've been talking about actually come in handy more than you might think. Say that I have a brand that I've built and it's around a certain niche, maybe it's home goods, okay? And I've got this many customers that know my brand is good quality and they trust the customer service, they trust the brand and the products that they're gonna purchase, okay? If they buy our product and they love it and they really enjoy it, then not only will they go and tell all their friends about it, or somebody comes to their house and they see the product and they ask questions about it, and it's almost like free advertising. But then whenever you launch a new product, you can reach out to these customers, these repeat customers, and send them your products and say, hey, we're selling this at a discount, we're launching this product, it's our brand new product. And guess what? They'll be your first customers. And do you know how much advertising that took? How much advertising cost? Zero. Takes zero capital of advertising costs, and yet you've already made thousands, tens of thousands even of sales because you have a loyal customer base that trusts your products that you can advertise to for free, whether it's over email, Facebook, etc. There's different ways to do it, and it's so beneficial for a brand to have this kind of loyalty and environment around them. Step number 2, which as you know is keyword search volume. Like I said before, you want to make sure that people are actually searching for your products. What is a keyword or a keyword phrase? Well, these are a string of words in a search query that specify your specific product. For example, look at this product. This has many different keywords like stainless steel dog bowl and stainless steel bowl for dogs, or even dog bowl stainless steel. How do you find all of these different keywords for your product? Great question. By using a tool called Helium 10. And not only can you find all of your keywords, but you can find out exactly how many searches each phrase has a month. This is a paid tool, but I'm telling you, it is legitimately mandatory for success on Amazon. It's a necessary investment. I'll be going over Cerebro in this video, which is a section of Helium 10, and teach you guys how to find keywords. But there's so much more to it that you can do with this tool, and I'll cover that in another video. Okay, that leads us right to step number 3, USPs, unique selling propositions. Now, one of the biggest mistakes you can make in Amazon is to not set yourself apart from the competition, to not offer something better than the competition. Now let's get into what this means and how to do it. A USP is a unique part of your product that attracts customers to buy your product instead of the competition. That's what a USP is. Now, what it is not is decreasing the price, having better customer service, or having a better listing. These things are really important and they're really good, but that's not what a USP is. A good example of a USP would be making a product with better quality material, adding to the product or changing the mold and making the product better in somehow. It could be adding a complementary product to your package as like a bundle. So for example, say you were buying a hammer and you added a knife for free along with a package. That would be a USP. Or maybe you wrote a PDF guide on how to use your product and you included that, so whenever they bought your product, they also got a PDF guide. That is a USP. It's a unique selling proposition, something unique about you and your listing and your product that is a benefit in which will attract customers. A customer will be scrolling through Amazon and they'll see 2 listings. They'll see one listing that might have more reviews, more traffic, obviously it's been in the market longer, possibly. And then they'll see your product and they'll see good images and they'll see bonus. They'll see a free knife, for example. like with the example I was talking about before. And they're like, oh wow, so if I buy this one, I get a free knife with it? Well, of course I'm gonna go with that one. So they go ahead and they buy yours over the competition, even though the competition has better reviews. They have possibly even a better listing. That's how impactful a USP is, and why it's so important to utilize this when looking for products. When you're going through and you're looking for products to sell, you really need to pay attention to USP potential. Okay, that takes us right to tip number 4, count for advertising costs. So going back to the stainless steel dog bowl, I went to Alibaba and did a search, and I found about a rough estimate of about $6 per unit based on this listing. Okay, so now if you take this and you go back to Amazon's revenue calculator, we can plug in about $6 in the cost of goods, and then I like to estimate about, let's say $3 in this case for in the miscellaneous area for the cost of shipping per unit. Send them from China to America, and this is just an estimate, to be honest. Now you'll see you have about 40% profit margin, and you can also see it says net profit margin, but in reality it's just gross profit margin because it doesn't include any advertising costs or business expenses. So that is something that I want you to consider when looking at these products. You need to account for the advertising costs and maybe even some business expenses. I use a 20% as a minimum advertising cost estimate. What that means is you subtract 20% of the profit margin to go to advertising. So this 40% profit margin product is actually 20% net profit, or 10% depending on how expensive advertising can get. So keep that in mind, that if you try and sell a product with only 20% profit margin or 30% profit margin on this calculator, you won't have any room to spend on advertising or scaling your business. This is pretty important, and this is a big step that a lot of people miss. They'll go on this calculator, they'll go run through all the fees, and they'll think, oh, I'm good, I have 20% left for profit. They don't think about the future costs. So I urge and implore you guys to think this far ahead and to think about these things that are going to happen and going to come. Advertising is one of the core essential parts of Amazon and succeeding in Amazon. You can use this thing called PPC. I'll make a video on that later, but just know that advertising is going to be a cost in this business, whether you like it or not. That leads us to our 5th and final product selection tip: low review competition. What do you believe is the first thing that customers notice when they go and they look at a certain market or certain product? If you said reviews and ratings, you are 100% correct. Reviews and ratings are so important to customers, whether they believe it or not, that they will almost always pick a product with either more or better reviews over a product that maybe even has better quality but just doesn't have as many reviews. So when you think about that, what you need to do is you need to pay attention to the review count and the review quality and rating of some of the top sellers in the niche that you're thinking about selling in. This is a very important thing to pay attention to, and I'm going to show you guys how to do it properly. So what I want to do is teach you guys a goal. This should be a goal for you guys when thinking about starting in a niche. The goal here is to become one of the top 5 sellers in that niche. So you need to find a way to find the top 5 sellers, and I'll show you how to do that. But when you look at the top 5 sellers, you need to look at the review count, the sales, obviously, make sure that they're all selling well, but look at the review count and look at their rating. And your goal here is to replace somebody in the top 5 sellers. If it's number 5, by all means, be number 5. Because once you're number 5, you can slowly build up and become number 4, and then number 3 and 2, and then eventually you'll become, guess what, number 1 in that market. But you want to look at the top 5 sellers. So if you look at the top 5 sellers and you see that all 5 of them have thousands and thousands of reviews, they have great ratings, even mediocre ratings, but they have thousands of reviews and thousands of sales, then guess what? To enter this niche, it's gonna take a lot of money, a lot of capital, okay? Most people, even general entrepreneurs, don't have that kind of money to invest on a risk, on a product, okay? Obviously, it's possible to succeed in that, but like I said, it just takes too much money. You want to find a product that has something I like to call a conversion gap. Something that allows you to fit in and become one of those 5. You can compete with a competitor because he doesn't have that many reviews. So what you want to do, and what I suggest for new sellers, is you want to find a product where at least 1 or 2 of the top 5 sellers have less than 100 reviews and they're still selling good. This is because it's way easier for you to enter the market with less capital and you have a chance to compete. There is a conversion gap for you to fit into. This will actually help you get tons of sales early on. Sales that you couldn't have gotten if all of your competitors and all the top sellers have thousands of reviews. Just for reference, our stainless steel dog bowl niche has these sellers as the top 5. And if you look here, you'll see all the reviews are way past 1,000. And the competition for this product would take an insane amount of money to compete in. And that's kind of what I'm getting at here, is you want to look at these top 5 sellers and you want to gauge the competition. You want to see whether or not it's plausible for you to try to sell this product. And if, like I said, which is great for new sellers, if you see 2 of these top sellers have less than 100 reviews and they're still selling in the top 5, then you'll know that this product is giving you a chance to compete, giving you a chance to make lots of sales early on. Now you're probably wondering what I'm looking at here and what tool this is. And this is actually another tool of Helium 10. So before I was showing you Cerebro, and this one is another tool called the X-Ray. The X-Ray is pretty amazing because what it does is it works coherently with Amazon. So I will go to Amazon.com, I'll type in a keyword phrase, okay, like stainless steel dog bowl, and then you'll see that what happens is I can click X-Ray and it pulls up what you're looking at here. It pulls up all the different sellers and listings that show on the page. Now I can filter through this listing. I can filter it by the top, sales, whoever sells the most in that month, and then I can go ahead and remove sellers that aren't selling the same product that I'm looking at. Now I've already filtered it out, and you can see here what the top 5 sellers are. But I hope you see how important this tool is. You would not know this information if you didn't have this tool. So it's very important to go ahead and make that first step and purchase Helium 10, so that you can have this kind of information at your expense. Now we finally finished our product selection tips, and we can move right along to our post-product selection tips. Tips number 6 through 10. Let's do a quick overview of what's going on in the second half of this video. Number 6 is going to be inspection companies. 7 is going to be product inserts. Number 8 is going to be brand registry. Number 9 is going to be Amazon pay-per-click. And then lastly, number 10, add a video. Those are my tips there. Now let's go into the more depth on what those are and how to do them properly. Tip number 6, inspection companies. Inspection companies are so important. And what they do is they inspect your manufacturer in China, the manufacturer you've been communicating with on Alibaba. And this is so important because there's so many scams in Alibaba and so many scammers that it would be really awful if you went on there and you paid a bunch of money and you started off and you did all the work up front just to find out that you were working with a scam artist in China or wherever the manufacturer says they are. And that's something that you can easily prevent by getting an inspection company. Inspection companies, they go out there and inspect the manufacturer and make sure that everything's up to par and that they are who they say they are. And then guess what? When you order your product from that manufacturer, you could have the same inspection company go and inspect your products to make sure that the products are the way that you want to be and they meet the standard and the contract that you made with the company. So that's a really important step that a lot of people sometimes forget or they don't do. So I need you to make sure that whenever you do make your order and whenever you are communicating with a supplier in Alibaba, that you hire an inspection company. I personally use a company called Movely LLC. I'll put a link to it at the bottom of this video, but they are outstanding. They are by far the most professional and efficient and proficient inspection companies I've ever worked with. I've been using them for a while now. I'm not an affiliate, by the way, and they're just that good. They go out to the companies, they give you detailed reports, tons of photos, videos of your products, all kinds of things. One of the better things about them is they're not a Chinese company. So you normally don't want a Chinese company to inspect another Chinese company. It might not go well. So find a company like Movely who's not a Chinese company. So if you're using a Chinese manufacturer, you can actually trust them a little bit more. Don't have any sort of side relationships that are unknown of. I highly recommend using Movely LLC for any inspection companies, but honestly, If you use any inspection company, it's better than none. Okay, tip number 7, product insert cards. A very quick and easy way to accelerate your reviews and sales early on is by utilizing the two-sided product insert card. It's like a little index card. And you can place this into every single one of your boxes so that when a customer opens it up, they pull out this card and that's the first thing they see. It's gonna be like a welcome message or like a thank you message saying thank you for buying this product. This is our brand, this is what our brand's about, and you give a little summary of your brand. And then on the reverse side, you have, for example, a one-time use code or a deal or something like that that entices them to go to your website. So they go to your website and they type in their email to get access to a deal or a free giveaway, something along those lines. And this is huge because once they type in their email and that you get that email, you start creating your email list and your customer list and your loyal customers. And now when you have that list, you can advertise to them, you can do things like that, but you can also ask for reviews. You don't want to mandate reviews, but you can ask for reviews when you give them their free product or that deal. And this is a huge part that really accelerate your sales and your review count super early on in making you a very competitive seller. The next tip, number 8, is brand registry. Brand registry is a service from Amazon that gives your account tons of different privileges. And I'm gonna go over some of the main ones in this video. So enrolling in Amazon brand registry is completely free. And it's done on brandservices.amazon.com. Amazon created the brand registry to verify true brand owners and to give them tools to protect their products and their listings. There's a ton of different things that come with it, but the top 4 are the ability to report violations if somebody's wrongfully selling your products or committing IP infringements. You have access to A+ content on your listing, which is a very specialized brand content that replaces the description box. Amazon, adding A+ content to detail pages can help increase sales by an average of 5.6%. Sponsored brand advertising is another benefit from brand registry. And this is super important and it will immediately set you apart from like your competitors. It's very important to have this. Another one is subscribe and save, which is an option that whenever you set up your brand registry account, it allows you to set up on your listings and customers can subscribe to your product and save on the next order. This is super good for building brand loyalty and getting return customers. Tip number 9 is Amazon pay-per-click, PPC. What this is Amazon's advertising service. And how it works is pretty much in the name, you pay per click. Amazon advertises your product, and every single time a customer clicks on that advertisement and goes to your listing, you pay a preset amount. Now this is super powerful because generally when you're first selling a product and you're just launching that product, it's really hard to get clicks. It's really hard to get customers to actually go to your listing and to get that traffic. So Amazon PPC is a really good method of getting it. And once they're there and once they finally get to your listing, they can see all the great work you've done, all the great images you have, the great bullet points and your A+ content, things like that, which they wouldn't have seen before. So Amazon PPC is super useful. Setting up your account for PPC and running it can be kind of tricky and very complicated. So I highly recommend you watch this step-by-step tutorial by Ryan Rigney on how to set up your account and how to run your Amazon PPC account properly. He's a very successful seller and he's been selling for many years, so you can definitely trust what he says in this video. Okay, so now that you know how to drive traffic to your listings with PPC and other ways, now it's time to tell you guys how to optimize your listings. And one of the most important things, which is tip number 10, add a video. Add a video. If you're not adding a video, then your listing and your brand, your product is not nearly as good as it could be. People don't understand how important videos are, so they'll just add their 6-7 images or whatever, and then they'll just move on to other things on their listing without focusing or without even taking the steps to start working on a video or to have somebody else work on a video. Okay, so how do you get a video on your listing? Well, there's about 2 different ways you can go about it. You can either hire somebody else or you can do it yourself or have your friends do it themselves. Now, I know making a video sounds super scary, intimidating for most people. They don't want to be on camera or they think that they're not good on camera. Well, the reality is, honestly, all you have to do, you don't even need to talk. All you have to do is stand behind your box, play some music in the background of your video, and just unbox it and just take out the components if that's all you want to do. Even that simple video can be super powerful because a customer can see, oh, that's a real person right there. That's a real person holding this product. It's a legit product and it's not a scam, that kind of thing. Or they'll just subconsciously gain more trust for your brand and your product. That's if you want to do it yourself. You can also hire somebody using, a great website like Fiverr or maybe some more Amazon specific companies, but you can hire somebody to do it. And Fiverr is a great tool, by the way. You can go on Fiverr and hire and outsource all kinds of different parts of your company. But specifically for videos, Fiverr is also a great tool. All right, guys, we went over a ton of content in this video. So if you need to go back and rewatch any of the topics I talked about or any of the tips, you can easily do that by using the description below. I'm going to break down each section and I'm going to include the times with it. So you can definitely do that in the description below. Thanks for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. I hope that these tips and strategies that I talked about in this video today can be applied to your business and you'll see a ton of growth and success from it. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so that next time whenever I drop my video, you'll get notified. I'll see you next time.